everyone and welcome. Today we're going to be talking about the 2012 Mazda 5 that I bought from my local online auction. I have considered before buying a car at Copart, but I just think that Copart has too many fees, and I see a lot of YouTubers who buy cars from auctions end up paying way too much. I actually got inspired by some of the YouTubers that I watch, and I wanted to show everybody what my budget bills look like. Okay, so let's get started. So this is some of the pictures that I saw in the online page before going to see it, of course. I never buy a car before looking at it in person so I can assess the damage more closely. But this is some of the pictures. I didn't record that, unfortunately, so I'm gonna be showing you some of the pictures that I saw and why I made the assessment to buy it. As you can see, you can tell there was some heavy damage in the front, but the frame is intact. So pretty much the damage is mostly just cosmetic, like the bumper, the hood, and probably like the headlight. So here we have another picture of the interior, and it shows that it has 160,000 miles, which is kind of high for a vehicle that's 2012. But honestly, guys, I have never had any problems with any high mileage vehicles that I have bought. They all work good. I mean, and for the price that you get them, I mean, it's a no-brainer. Now, I do have to admit that whenever I went to look at it in person, the interior was kind of on the heavy. It was kind of a little bit dirty, and it had some tears here and there, and they probably smoked in it because it had like little holes. But then again, it's a cheap car, so as long as it's not anything major, it will be fine. So now you're probably wondering, what about the rear? Well, the rear it was fine. It had normal wear and tear on the bumper, and the sides where they had some scuffs and scratches, but not anything out of the ordinary. It wasn't anything major. The tires were pretty bad, even though on the listing it said that it had good tires. They were bullshitting, I guess. But enough talk. Let's see the car. So this is what I got. The Mazda 5, and for the price, I mean, you cannot go wrong. So this is the damage it has. As you can see, it's missing one headlight. The condenser is bad, the radiator is bad, probably the fan, the hood latch, the cable, the hood cable, the hood, the driver's side fender, and the side mirror thing. The body actually looks pretty good. No major dents or anything. Even though it said they were good, they fucking lied. So it does have one airbag deployed, and it has some cigarette fucking marks. But other than that, I mean, for the price, you cannot go wrong. So I went ahead and sped up the process of me taking off the condenser and the radiator, just to make it easier for y'all to follow along in the process of me refurbishing, if you want to call it that. Since the damage pretty much took care of all the parts in the front, it was relatively easy taking off the radiator and the condenser. Because the radiator support was all broken and it was made out of fiberglass, so it was a relatively easy process. Now this van came with a oversized battery. I took it off, and I just went ahead and replaced it. Here we have the radiator. Yeah, it's not good. The radiator and the condenser is bad. However, the radiator fan has some cracks, so like around here, but I think it's salvageable, especially since it's like $300 new. Probably used like for $200 or $150, but overall, I mean, it looks like it can be salvaged, so I'm gonna try to at least save that. As far as damage, as far as where damage really goes, there's some damage here in the intake manifold. All this is cracked. I don't know if this one's damaged. Probably is, but I don't know if let me focus. I don't know if that one's damaged, but the intake manifold is cracked from there and here. Now, I'm thinking that you can fix that, but I'm just gonna go ahead and replace it. It's not that expensive. It's like $90, so I'm just gonna go ahead and do that. Yesterday night I took a peek at it, and I removed the broken bumper, and I wanted to see if there was more damage to it. And I think obviously I'm gonna change the filter, the oil filter, but I mean that's nothing. But the thing was that I don't know if I'll be able to get this, but it kind of hit the oil pan, and the oil pan has a small crack in the corner, so I'm gonna have to take it off and get it welded, because it's gonna be leaking and stuff. Now, I was thinking that maybe I can save this throttle body. I don't know how much is it. I'm thinking that it may not be that expensive, so I might just go ahead and replace it. But I mean, if I can save it, I mean, it's not a hard part to get to, so in case it doesn't work, I can just always swap it for another one. But this one, I think this one is gonna be on my to-do list. I know there's like epoxy and stuff, but for high heat and stuff too, but I just think that it would be my best bet to just go ahead and replace it, since it's gonna be easier to do without all this mess. So my objective on this video was to show you what I got, what I purchased, and the damage of it, so y'all could see and be getting updates. Also, I wanted to get it prepped so I could just get the parts and put them on whenever I got them. So I'm gonna go ahead and continue working on it so I can take the intake manifold off and have it ready. So I went ahead and started taking off the intake manifold, and as y'all can see, it was going quite well. It was pretty straightforward, just taking off the bolts, here and there, and one came out, and I got my my magnet. It really comes in handy in times like that, because it helps you get any bolts that you cannot get with your finger. As you can see me taking off all the bolts. I have done this multiple times on different cars, and to be honest with you guys, I thought it wasn't hard at all taking it off. It was just time consuming, because it had some tricks here and there. The thing that got me the most was there were some hidden screws, so I had to get my flashlight to make sure I got all of them. I had to remove some harnesses that were on the way, some vacuum lines. Here y'all can see me trying to wiggle it out, and right in this part is when I start having a little bit of trouble taking some vacuum lines. Yeah, it wasn't fun, so I decided to take the throttle body off, and I was hoping that was gonna make it easier, because it had some unusual vacuum lines, and I think that those vacuum lines actually needed like a special tool because they look relatively easy to remove, but I didn't want to break them. So I even prayed, and yeah, I mean, I was trying my hardest um, to take that off, and I put some rags over the holes because you don't want to get them dirty. You don't want any dirt going in those holes. So this is the part where I was like, it was just holding by one vacuum line. I had already taken everything off, and I just couldn't get it off. I tried my hardest. See, the thing is, like, I could have breaking it because I tried taking it off from the back, but it was the same shit. So at this point, I was fed up. I was getting angry because it was taking a lot of time to do that simple vacuum line, and that was the only thing holding me back. I tried with the screwdriver. I tried with my other screwdriver, and it didn't work. So I finally went ape shit. Yeah, I finally lost it and went and got a big wrench, and I started hitting it like a fucking caveman. And just when I took it off, it came right off, screwing it off. Anyways, I wanted to show you guys me taking off the driver side fender, but taking the intake manifold just took way too long, and it was starting to get dark. Not really, but the video was starting to get too long, and I mean, it's not that interesting, so I just figured that I might just end the video here. Well, guys, this is it for today. My name is Eric. Until next time, peace.